Hi, my name is Amy Porter. I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I'm a recent graduate of the Master of Arts program in Piano Technology from Florida State University. This past May 2008, I spent 2 weeks in the Satter Piano Factory in Spaichingen, Germany, and it was just a most amazing experience that I've ever had.
Tell us first, if you'd be so kind, a little bit more about the program at FSU. What's the goals? What are the contents? What are you geared to learn?
Okay, the Master of Arts program at Florida State University is a 2-year graduate degree program. It is the only one of its kind in North America. We are actually graduate assistants in the School of Music working as piano technicians for a stipend throughout the year. So we have a roster of about 50 pianos, as well as harpsichords, forte piano, clavichord, continual organ that we look after on a daily, weekly basis. We tune and do all the repairs that are necessary and just preventative maintenance that is required on those instruments.
So are you focusing mostly on voicing, so the final stages of piano care, or do you go deeper into piano restoration, building, and construction?
Well, because the pianos are used regularly in the school, we do what needs to be done on a day-to-day basis on those instruments. We do have special projects in the piano shop that are more intensive rebuild projects. Our major project this past year was the Mason and Hanlon Double C that we had restored. We put a new pin block in it, refinished the soundboard, restrung the piano, and redesigned and added new parts to the action.
Oh, wow. So part as a capstone and finish of your program, you requested a visit to the factory. What was your expectation of a tier one high quality piano manufacturer in Europe? Did it match? What was the expectation? What were you looking for when you went?
Okay, when I got on the plane to travel to Spaichingen, I wasn't sure what I was going to be in for when I got there. I don't want to say I didn't have any expectations. I knew I'd be looked after and everything would go well, but I just wasn't sure. When I arrived at the factory, we were greeted very warmly by the factory workers, and they were so willing to share with us what they knew and what they wanted to show us as to what their specific jobs were in the factory. They were so giving of their time. They entertained us outside of factory hours, and it was just a wonderful experience.
Which parts of the production process were you able to walk through or be part of? Were you working actually on projects in the factory, or was it just an observational time?
We spent quite a bit of time with the upright pianos, and they shared with us the different stages of upright regulation after the piano was put together, and that was very, very informative for me. I've done upright regulation before, but never in a factory setting, and there are slight differences.
Like what?
Well, for instance, they take into account the compression of the felt. After installation, you put the felt in, it's a little puffy, and it will settle. So they actually regulate to take that in consideration, so that when the piano arrives to where it's going, those distances will actually have settled in, and the piano will be working fine. So that was really interesting, something you don't normally think about.
Yes. Tell us a little bit more about your language barriers, because I know you didn't speak any word of German, and the factory workers didn't speak any word of English. How did that work out?
Surprisingly, it went very well. I have studied German many years ago, but because I have never used it, there were words I recognized, but I couldn't remember what they meant. But we were the factory workers were so willing to communicate with us in any way possible. We had a dictionary with us at all times, and so between gesturing and just showing and acting things out, we were really able to communicate with each other. It was difficult to explain specifics about what we wanted to ask, but by observing and having them patiently show us procedures, it worked very well.
Amy, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Vasilius.
Thanks for coming to our factory.
Thank you.